It's 12 o'clock, and as a custom for the Minerals Committee, or Senate Minerals Committee, I should say, we start on time, and we end when we want to. Today, I want to welcome all the public, and we don't have anybody on Zoom today, I guess, so it'll just be in the room. We have a couple of things to talk about. One is if you have items you want to bring to the committee, you need to bring 7 copies and give them to the secretary. Those 7 copies, you can make them in the copy room down the hall here. They'll make those copies for you if you need them. So other than that, address the chair and keep it civil. And we have one change to the agenda today. We're going to do Senate File 17 on Friday because there's a similar bill, Senate File 18, that we'll also hear that day, that both run together. So we might as well keep the audience together. So we'll just hear Senate File 15 and Senate File 16 today. Yeah. So those are the announcements. Will you please read the roll call? Sue, please.
Senator Cooper?
Here.
Senator Jones?
Here.
Senator Nethercott?
Here.
Senator Rothfuss?
Here.
Chairman Anderson?
Here. I think we have a quorum. Feels like it, yeah.
Feels like it.
Yeah. So with that, we'll jump right into Senate File 15, Oil and Gas Conservation Commission regulation of pits. They really want to regulate pits. So is there anybody that wants to talk about regulating pits? Any legislator that wants to talk about regulating pits? Any agency that wants to talk about regulating pits? There's an agency. All right.
When we're up to our pits.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Tom Kropatch. I'm the State Oil and Gas Supervisor for the Oil and Gas Commission. And welcome back, Mr. Chairman and Senator Nethercott, to the committee. Glad to see you and be in front of you today. Senate File 15 was a bill we actually brought to the committee during the interim session, this last interim, to make a change in the way the Oil and Gas Commission is authorized to regulate pits, and in this case specifically produced water reservoirs. And so it's a fairly simple bill. And what it does on the second page of the bill is just strike the words "on a lease, unit, or communitized area." And so that is in 30-5-104 D6A. And what that section does is authorizes the commission to regulate various oil and gas related pits and reservoirs and non-commercially. So they're one operator only. They're not a commercial operation in this case. And what we'd like to do, historically, we've been limited to allowing those types of facilities to lands that are on a lease, a unit, or a communitized area for that operator. What this would do is allow us to permit or locate these reservoirs, or specifically the produced water reservoirs, anywhere. The reason for that is because of the advancement within the industry of reusing produced water in their drilling and completion operations. So this really is specific to operations mostly in the Powder River Basin, but a few other areas of the state where our horizontal activity is occurring. And it would facilitate operators' reuse of produced water. And it would really not change at all the permitting requirements, the operation, construction, or closure requirements of these types of facilities. It really is just where can they be permitted at by the Oil and Gas Commission. And I mentioned the operators want to reuse produced water. It would really reduce the reuse of produced water, reduces the use of fresh water, reduces their cost for disposal. Historically, operators would buy fresh water for use in drilling and completion operations, and then when they were done at that well or that pad, they would dispose of that water, move to the next one, and buy new fresh water and use that there. The ability to reuse produced water obviously reduces the cost of that fresh water, reduces the use of fresh water. It also reduces the cost of disposal for the operators. And centralizing the facilities just is advantageous to the operator because they can locate them in places where it's advantageous to their current and future operations. so they don't have to build a new reservoir every time they move over to a different pad or a different area. They can locate these in a central location so that then they can just pipe the water to their location and continue to use it in additional areas and not have to just rebuild these. And they are expensive, and they're large. They are large reservoirs. Some of them now are seeing up to 1 million barrels of water, so significant size, 5 to 7 acres in surface location. And so, the cost and the disturbance involved with these can be significant, and so centralizing them would reduce both of those. And the bill also doesn't remove the requirement for an operator to have a surface owner's permission. So it doesn't allow the commission to go in and say, we can put this here, and even if the surface owner doesn't want it, the operator does have to have surface landowner authorization to access and construct these as well. So, Mr. Chairman, I think that is an in-depth summary of the bill and the reasons why this was brought, and so we'd be open for any questions.
Questions? Senator Rothfuss.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tom, one point came up since we worked this bill. It was a discussion of language we didn't touch, but what the implications or meaning are on line 7, where it's reclamation of all non-commercial reserve pits, where the discussion was around the word non-commercial and what the implications are of the non-commercial concept in the context of exactly what you described, where you're effectively trying to centralize and even commoditize to some degree the produced water. Is there any tension between that non-commercial reserve pit phrase in that paragraph with what the intent of this change is?
Mr. Chairman, Senator Rothfuss, I don't think so. That non-commercial really limits the reservoir use to the single operator that permits it. They can't accept water for commercial gain into that reservoir. And it really doesn't change the water sharing between operators issues. We have operators that would like to move produced water between operators. One generates it, but they don't have enough drilling activity to utilize it all, but another nearby operator would. And we're exploring that option with the Department of Environmental Quality. There's some overlapping authorities there. But this would not change those and would not authorize that water sharing capability. We likely will probably bring that in the next interim session to try to get some language around that once we have a better idea of what requirements maybe should be in place or if we need further authorities to be able to do that. But this would not change that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I actually didn't appreciate the fact that it was single operator limited, so that's helpful to understand. Thank you.
So the other question is then, who takes care of the commercial pits? Is that the DEQ still that would have authority over that?
Mr. Chairman, yes, in a certain sense, and my knowledge of the DEQ exact language is in their statutes and authorities is probably not as in-depth, obviously, as Director Parfit would be, but they have authority for the commercial oil field waste disposal facilities. I'm not sure. I think in my mind, there's a gap a little bit about, a commercial facility that's not treating or disposing of the fluid. If it's, in this case, we're really not treating these fluids at all. There's some filtration that happens to get solids out of it, and there's some biocide to keep bacteria from growing, but there's not significant treatment otherwise. And so, I'm not sure that anyone has explicit authority to say if you have a commercial reservoir that is just storing and moving produced water, that there's explicit, language in any statute that allows that without the disposal or the treatment.
So this is contaminated water or maybe not. It's production water, but it could be usable. Is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, it is usable for the industry. The water quality varies. It's not bad water quality in general. Most of the produced water that we see out of the Powder River Basin, the total dissolved solids, which would be the constituents of concern in here, are in the 20 to 60,000 part per million range. So it's not significantly salty like you might hear from the Permian or from North Dakota produced water. Obviously, there are concerns if spills or leaks were to occur, so there's requirements in the permitting and construction and operations of the reservoirs to have leak detection and to monitor that and report that, and if there is a spill or a leak, then it would be addressed. But
some of these pits could be used by the landowner. Is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, I don't think most of the water would be of sufficient quality for wildlife or livestock in this case. So it is specific to reuse for oil and gas. And when they're done with it, if they do move out of the area and they're complete with the use of that reservoir, then they would have to dispose of the water in appropriate methods allowed by the statutes and the rules.
Further questions for the agency? Further questions? Hearing none? Thank you, Mr. Corpatch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else? Any other agencies would like to talk about this? No? Any other public like to talk about Senate File 15, regulation of pits? No public wants to talk about it. Yeah. The heck?
I was hoping for more.
Yeah. All right, we'll close public comment then. And committee, what's your pleasure?
Move to pass.
Moved by Rothfuss and seconded by Cooper. Any discussion? Any discussion? Would you like to have a further pit discussion? You feel good about it?
We're up to our pits in it.
We're up to our pits in it? Nice.
Are you done?
You got yourself a
All
hole.
right, we're all done then. We can vote on it then. We're gonna have a roll call vote on this. Roth?
It's a good choice, I know. I was gonna get that.
Yeah, Rothfuss, yeah. Roll call vote on this bill, please, Sue.
Senator Cooper,
Aye.
Senator Jones. Aye. Senator Nethercott,
Aye.
Senator Rothfuss.
Aye.
Chairman Anderson.
Aye,
Good job.
yeah. Okay, that baby's going to the floor, and who is gonna take care of it on the floor? That's what we wanna know.
I can.
You sure you can? You sure you can handle it?
Yeah.
Okay, Senator Rothfuss is gonna be our floor leader on that bill. So all you guys that need some information on the floor, you can talk to Senator Rothfuss. Next up is Senate File 16. Industrial siting tribal notification. And I was told there, yes, okay. So Senate File 16 is before us. Is there any legislators that'd like to talk about this bill? Seeing none, any agencies like to talk about this bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Todd Parfit, Director of the Department of Environmental Quality. And with me here is Jenny Stabin, or Dr. Jenny Stabin, who's the Administrator for the Industrial Siting Division. This was an interim topic, as you know, or some of you know, anyway. And what it does is it defines a tribal government as the Eastern Shoshone or the Northern Arapaho, and provides for notification to the tribes of industrial siting projects that are adjacent to, or in a county that would be adjacent to Fremont County. So it would apply to projects that would be in Fremont, Natrona, Carbon, Sweetwater, Sublet, Teton, Park, Hot Springs, and Washakie counties, where we would provide notification of an application and notification of the date of a hearing on an industrial siting project. This is something that we have been doing because they're on our mailing list at their request, but this would codify this notification requirement for Fremont County and adjacent counties. And that's pretty much the summary of the bill. Happy to take questions that you might have.
Well, it leaves a lot of questions, that's for sure, Mr. Parfit. Any questions? Committee?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Senator Rothfuss.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I think one of the things that we discussed during the interim, but I just want to maybe stress and confirm, is that this doesn't change standing of any party in any way with regard to industrial siting hearings or any other projects, right? It's simply, everything we've changed in here, as I understand it, is with regard to providing information, but no changes in standing. Is that accurate?
Mr. Chairman, Senator Rothfuss, that's accurate. This bill does not give party status to the tribes, and they would not be eligible for any impact assistance payments.
Thank you.
Mr. Parfit, there's other tribes outside Wyoming. Would this apply to them also? I notice it just says our local tribes, but with Montana or Idaho or South Dakota, would we do the same thing with them and notify them?
So, Mr. Chairman, this particular bill only applies to the two tribes, and other tribes that have interest could participate by making comment, but we would not be required to provide them notification because tribal government is defined in the bill.
Okay. Mr. Chairman? Yeah. Senator Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director, just for my poor little slow brain here, all of this is actually being done right now. It's just this is codified it so we can, is that what we're saying?
Mr. Chairman, Senator Cooper, that's correct, as long as they're on our mailing list. But this codifies it, at least for those that are projects that are within Fremont County and adjacent to Fremont County.
Other questions? Other questions? Other questions? Did you want to add anything to that? No? Okay. All right, well, thank you. Thank you for your testimony then. Any other agencies to speak? Welcome. Welcome to the Senate
Chairman,
Minerals Committee.
Thank you, Chairman Anderson, members of the committee. My name is Kit Wentland, Special Counsel, Tribal Relations Policy Advisor for the Governor's Office, and I'll let our liaisons introduce themselves.
Chairman, Senate, Nita Roman, Tribal Liaison for the Northern Arapaho Tribe. Pleased to meet you.
Hello, Chairman and Senate. I'm James Sarles. I'm the Tribal Liaison to the Eastern Shoshone Tribe at Governor Mark Gordon's office. Happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy to have you. Happy to have you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and we'll be short. We were, of course, in the weeds watching this bill as it was worked through Select Tribal, I think in conjunction with the Minerals Committee in the interim. The Governor's Office supports this bill, supports the tribes having notification of industrial siting projects that could affect them or their lands. And this bill has gone through the process and we're fully aware of it. So just wanted to voice support for it as it is.
Oh, good. Thank you.
And if it's all right, could I?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Chairman, speaking with the Northern Arapaho Tribe, I do not speak for them, but I do communicate with them on a regular basis, and they were aware of our testifying to support this bill. It's been worked very well.
Oh, good, good.
Chairman, Senate Committee, yes, again, I do not speak for the Shoshone Tribe. However, though, I meet with them weekly. They are aware of this, and they're happy to be able to participate in it. Thank you.
Thank you. So my question is, when you talked to them, did they say they thought we had been notifying them?
I think, yes, they have been notified. Since then, some of our members have changed, so now that part needs to change as well with the outgoing chairman, new incoming one. So that stuff is being worked out.
And the Arapaho?
Yeah, just the communication and maintaining that communication with this bill, it just seems like there's that guarantee. So they were appreciative of that, as I understand.
Oh, good, good. Any questions of the of the witnesses? Any questions? No questions? Thank you. Nice hat. Anyone else want to testify on Senate File 16?
Mr. Chairman, Travis McNevin here on behalf of the Northern Arapahoe Business Council. And in very brief, as was previously mentioned, Northern Arapahoe certainly appreciates the bill, the good work by Senator Ellis in bringing it, working it through the interim. And the council certainly views this as a very good, while the practice has been ongoing, which they appreciate, making this, formal, as that government-to-government working relationship and flow of knowledge, certainly appreciate that sharing of information, and certainly take any questions, but fully support and appreciative of that. And to Director Parfit's question, tribe also fully recognizes that it does not, change, the status or the financial distributions amongst the counties and municipalities.
Any questions for Travis? Any questions? No questions, Travis. Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Anyone else like to speak about this? Nobody else? And there's nobody on Zoom, so we'll close public comment. Committee, what's your pleasure? Moved by Cooper, seconded by Jones. Any discussion? Any discussion?
Question.
I wasn't done contemplating about this. Wait a minute.
Don't let it rush you.
Wait a minute. I wasn't done. Oh, the question's been called. Okay, we'll take a roll call vote on this Senate File 16, please, Sue.
Mr. Chairman, this is a roll call vote for Senate File 16. Senator Cooper.
Aye.
Senator Jones. Aye. Senator Nethercott.
Aye.
Senator Rothfuss.
Aye.
Chairman Anderson.
Aye. I believe that snuck by the Senate Minerals Committee. So we'll take that to the floor. Who's going to take it to the floor? Cooper's going to take it to the floor. Okay. All right, since we put off the Senate File 17, that concludes our business for today. Is there anything else for the good of the Minerals Committee anybody like to say? No? Yeah, I think I heard somebody say good job. Yeah, good job, yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. So, Sue, if there's nothing else? Okay, we'll adjourn this Senate Minerals Committee meeting then.